All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back, guys. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me all good. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, guys. Let me just move this over here. Where are we? Awesome. Welcome back, everyone. Good to be back. Yeah, good to be back. Back home, back to business. Ready for another good week in the markets. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everyone had a good weekend. What do you have? Very good. Awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. Let me put on Do Not Disturb. Awesome. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone had a great week. Last week in the markets. Hope everyone had a good weekend this week. Ready for another great trading week. If anyone's new here, you guys on the Topstep stream, my name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. I've been focusing on gold futures in the European session for the past 7+ years. So we're now bringing the London streams here to the Topstep channel. So welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Good morning. Yeah. Lovely push. I didn't trade pre-London, unfortunately. I was resting. I had a very tough Jiu-jitsu session this morning, and it absolutely wiped me out for pretty much the whole day. I had a very tough Jiu-jitsu session this morning. I was, I don't know, dying in bed. And so I had a crazy migraine just from, I think, just working out too hard. So yeah, I didn't trade pre-London, unfortunately. I did take a trade here in Asia. That's why I took this break even here for the day. I bought this morning star play here, looking for gold to continue pushing up into 33.50. However, I did take a little break even on that one. But yeah, lovely push up here. You know, from this nice support being held here, you know, you pushed up like 100 ticks, which is actually very nice for pre-London. Really good pre-London push today. I'm gonna trade the 150k today, guys. I'm taking a payout on my Asia account today. So we're gonna trade the 150 here today. Why is it highlighted like that? There we go. Cool. Awesome. Well, let's clean this up. Let's get rid of this analysis. Yeah, good to be back. Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Let me just make sure you're in here. Beautiful. All right. Awesome. Yeah, hope everyone had a 60. Nice. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It's good to take a weekend, take a break from the charts. I was in Melbourne for the weekend. It was very cold, but it was awesome to meet up with some of you guys from Melbourne. Catch up, but it's nice to be back to the office, back to business. We got the trading retreat next week as well, which will be cool. But yeah, we should be for a pretty good week. Let me just before we do anything, guys, let me just have a quick look at the news. So let's just have a quick look. I know it is going to be a quiet start to the week. However, we do have a big day on Wednesday. So there's no real news today. We have a bank holiday in Switzerland, France, and Germany. And we had a bank holiday here in some parts of Australia. No news on Tuesday at all. And then on Wednesday, we do have CPI for the US dollar. We got CPI at 1:30 London time on Wednesday. So looking to be a pretty big day on Wednesday, guys. And then on Thursday, we have PPI for the US dollar again at 1:30 London time. And then on Friday, we have consumer sentiment. So Wednesday onwards, we are in for a pretty big week in the markets. So, you know, maybe we can anticipate a potentially quieter start to the week. You know, it's the first day back after NFP. So we could be in for a quieter start to the week. But then by the time we get to the middle of the week, we should be in for some pretty big news. Now, we had NFP on Friday as well, guys. So NFP came out weaker for gold, stronger for the US dollar. And this was our nice liquidity levels from Friday. I did short this on a combine. I didn't trade any of my funded accounts on Friday, like you guys saw. But it was nice to see once gold did finally break out on Friday, you ended up having like a really nice, 260 tick push in 130-minute candle, which was absolutely beautiful. So let's do some top-down analysis here, guys. Let's have a look what we got for the week. Let's start start on our weekly. You know, we'll have a look at all markets this morning as well, guys. And yeah, let's have a look here. Let me get Discord over here. So, you know, gold has been in this range, guys, since end of April. You know, we've been stuck in this very aggressive range. The nice thing about gold here, you guys, hey Jaden, what's going on, man? You guys on Zoom, we were talking about this morning in the Asian market call for price to come down and liquidate previous weekly lows. Well, that's exactly what we've done. We had a nice sell-off here in Asia, tapped into these weekly lows, and you're finding some support nicely. The nice thing about last week's rejection is we had a beautiful, beautiful rejection of 3,400, but we also tapped into some nice previous weekly equal highs and had a beautiful, beautiful rejection. So we kind of have gold trapped in between a very big 1,000 tick range. 3,300, 3,400, one big massive range. And we're looking like we're coming back to the highs of that range. So very, very nice weekly rejection there. Let's drop down to the daily here on gold. Remember, guys, on Friday, so that was our weekly highs. We can get rid of that level now. This was our liquidity level from the Asian session. Remember on Friday, guys, we were speaking about in our London session how the candle was like, you know, something like this, starting to leave this nice rejection. We were basically saying if this candle can flip bearish, which is here, here, you're going to have this really nice drive down. Well, you ended up flipping bearish. You had a lovely push down into Tuesday's low for about 200 ticks, which is beautiful. So lovely, lovely sells on Friday. If you guys did trade NFP, it was a really, really, really nice short. I didn't, like I say, but it was a lovely, lovely short. Now, where we're coming into on gold, you know, we are coming into very, very, very big support. This is a huge, you kind of just bring it up to all of these bodies, like these wicks are all telling us something, even here, even maybe bring it down to here. Like all of this is one big, massive, massive, massive support zone where Friday closed bearish. And in today's candle, you've already came down, you've tapped into last week's low, which was Monday's low, and you're instantly starting to reject. So that's a pretty decent rejection already. And where's our next potential pullback resistance level? Here, back up here, nice resistance support, which also sits nicely with our daily support level at 3,350. So 3,350 could be our intraday potential trade opportunity here on gold. Let's drop down to the 4 hour. You had an amazing, here on the future chart, you had an amazing 4 hour fake out play. Let's get rid of some of these levels here. You broke below, you've aggressively broken back above, and then that's why you're already getting this very nice pre-London push up, which from this 4 hour push, you're already up like a nice 87 ticks here. So to me, it looks like we're going to come up and pull back some of this very strong NFP move down. If we just very briefly measure this, where's 50%? Right around the top of this resistance. So yeah, to me, price to continue pushing up today in London, up into 3,350. Looks like a pretty nice pullback level. Like I say, you have already had a pretty decent push here. If any of you guys who did trade pre-London, 4 a.m. London time, pretty early, but that was a very nice fake out. Here you closed aggressively bearish at 2 a.m. You grabbed the lows and then engulfed right, not quite engulfed, but you did close right back above the support. To me, that's a very, very, very nice fake out confirmation. And where's our targets? Well, this was our initial liquidity level as well. So we came down, we grabbed last week's low, which was here, broke back above, and you're already having a very, very, very nice drive here. Like this is a huge move on London. Pre-London again, 154 tick move, one contract. You know, it's a $1,500 trade right there, pre-London on a Monday morning. It's a very, very, very nice move. So now that we've already had a pretty decent push up here, do we want to buy gold from here? Not really. You know, we want to be buying gold from down here or maybe below some previous hourly lows. So could we be potentially looking for maybe London to have a little bit of a pullback before then maybe into New York you potentially continue buying? Because that's already a very, very, very nice push here. You're still in? Nice. Where did you get in from, man? Where did you get in from? Ooh, up 97 ticks. Beautiful. 331. You got in from 331. Where's that? Yeah, lovely. Did you get? Was that on the hourly fake out? Great entry, man. Look at that beautiful trailed stop as well. 33. Yeah, nice. Yeah, you got it on the hourly fake out. Yeah, amazing trade, man. Beautiful, beautiful trade. So yeah, you're chilling. You're covered. You've gotten at the support. You know, you're covering right at the highs as well. Very nice trade. Now let's drop down to. So what's that? That's the hourly. Let's have a look at the 30-minute. Like I said, this is already a very, very nice push up here on gold. A very, very strong push up here. This was this was the buys that we were talking about. You guys on Zoom in our Asia market call. And you've already had, yeah, this is already a huge move. You had a very nice morning star here as well. Rejected, came down, grabbed the lows. 6:30 London time. That would have been a beautiful buy. Look at that beautiful morning star play there, guys. Why are we looking for longs? Because we're at massive 4-hour support. We're liquidating day lows, and we had this very nice liquidity level from Asia. That's a lovely, lovely trade. You were in that one? Yeah, nice. That morning star is exactly why I got in. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, that one there was perfect. Perfect. Valid entry, valid target, and a very valid stop. How many ticks was that? That was, again, 90 ticks. Absolutely huge. So now that we've already had this, 100+ tick push on London, we're going to have to see how we're going to react to these highs, because this is already, a very, very nice push here. Let me just close my door here, guys. The parrots have come to join the party. I'll be 2 seconds. Parrots have come to join the party. Got the 15-minute flip at 12:30. 118 ticks at 1 minute. Amazing, man. Amazing. Beautiful trade. Yeah, it's already having a very, very decent push here. Let me just move this here. Yeah, it was counter trend. That's the thing. It was more of a pullback trade. So, you accept that maybe it's a little bit riskier, but it was a good trade. A very, very good trade still. Maybe even, once this even held here, even this breakout here, you still have clear targets up into here. This from here to here, that's a 60 tick trade. That's a beautiful trade. That's a very, very nice trade. So yeah, now we're gonna have to see how gold's gonna react around these highs, because like I said, this is already a very decent push up. You can kind of see, not only was that a morning star, but look at this. Also, very nice inverse head and shoulders there as well, with very nice upside targets. And on a higher time frame, this looks like a morning star play here as well. There's your wick, there's your liquidity wick, and there's your retest, there's your push up. So very nice inverse head and shoulders play there on gold. 4-hour fake out, inverse head and shoulders, clear targets. I do like price to come up into this 33.50 level, but like I said, if I'm gonna buy gold, I'm not going to buy gold at resistance. I'm going to be buying gold from down here. So pre-London trades today were amazing, guys. Well done. Beautiful work. So I want to see the London open here on gold. Like I say, you've already pushed up quite a lot. NQ, yep, we can have a look at NQ as well. Goldie's going to need a little bit of time here. Like I say, you've already had a beautiful push here. 3 micro is still good. 3 micro is good, man. What's that? 100 ticks still. Still very, very, very nice. Yeah, let's have a look at NQ. Gold, we're gonna see if we can pull back. Let's have a look at NQ. So what was this? This was analysis from last week. Looks pretty messy. Let's do some fresh analysis. Let me just have a quick look before we jump up. What are we kind of trying to do here? Let's have a quick look at the hourly. Make sure we're not going to miss anything. Wow, huge support being formed there. Look at that. Massive support. Look how many times we tried to break this support. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times. 12 hours worth of support being held here at NQ. That's huge. How can I save the drawings on my chart? For me, every single morning open, yeah, so NQ, there will be drawing I put on like over a month ago. You've already deleted them? I'm not too sure. Maybe just make sure it's saved. Can you save it here? Save layout, maybe? It doesn't do that to me personally. I'm not entirely too sure. I know if you do it on TradingView, it pretty much saves automatically. As long as it's saving, it shouldn't do that. If it shows up old drawings, you can always just do what I do, just delete everything and then just do some fresh analysis. You know, sometimes I have some old analysis on my charts, but I always just delete it all off and start fresh, clean for the day. Let's have a quick look here at NQ at the weekly. What we've got? We've got 11 minutes till the London Open here, guys. So very, very, very strong close on Friday. Look at that. Very, very strong close on Friday. Let's see. Let me get rid of this. So yeah, beautiful close last week. Very strong closure on Friday off the back of NFP. Massive fake out confirmation. Here you wicked out the highs, closed bearish. Friday you closed right back above. So, you know, ideally you would be wanting to long NQ. 4 hour here. Very bearish at the open of Asia. Came down, liquidated some 4 hour lows and holding support. So potential bounce from here. You know, if you do break some lows, you could have a bit of a pullback a little bit deeper. But to me, this is very, very, very nice support. Like 100, thank you, thank you. Would you say NQ is trending up? Let the markets tell you. What do you think? You know, to me, this looks like beautiful up. To me, this looks very nice. Let the markets tell you if we're going up or not. Not me. You know, this to me looks great. You know, it was very, very bullish. Very, very nice closure on Friday. So, you know, it's one of them where it's like, don't really think too much. To me, yeah, we're looking overall very bullish. This was a pretty strong bearish push down here right at the open. But again, you know, I can see the potential for gold, NQ coming down for, gold's having a beautiful push here, guys. I can see NQ coming down for a potential deeper pullback, you know, maybe back down into 21,680. However, you know, this support is holding up very, very, very well. So unless you get a decent breakout of this, you know, maybe you could consider shorting this range. But as long as it stands right now, yeah, this is, you know, this is huge, huge, huge support. The only thing is, you know, let me just let's clean this up here for a second. Let's get rid of this. Let me just make it a little bit simpler. We'll do the support like this. Let's go here, 100%. Drag it along. What looks nice? This looks nice. So you have massive support being held there, but you do also have major resistance here as well. Major resistance, huge break below, break back above, massive fake out level. Here below, above, below resistance. So this is your current range on NQ. And although, you know, this is massive support being held, it also does look pretty choppy in here. Like, look how aggressive this price action is. So I'd say this will probably be my no trade range. If you close above, you know, you'd be looking for that daily to reflip back bullish. So that's the daily open right there. And then you could be looking for it to overall squeeze higher. If you do start breaking back below on the hourly, then like I say, you know, there's a potential to play this range. So break back above, you got some nice longs. This could become a nice liquidity level as well. And then overall, yeah, I do like the longs here in NQ. Gold's having a nice push up as well. Gold's pushing higher, NQ's pushing higher. So you can probably just adapt this a little bit. Bring this down a little bit, maybe here is probably nice. Kind of got a nice wick here. Yeah, it's a pretty ugly range. But yeah, so we're already having a nice push. Look at this. Where are we? Came down, grabbed the lows, been holding support for pretty much all of the Asian session. Like, this is a huge hold of this support. Not only that, look at this. You also tapped into this nice liquidity level. Grabbed the previous lows, now you're breaking higher. So yeah, I would say NQ to push up into these highs, especially if you break out here in 7 minutes, which is also going to be the London Open. I would say it looks pretty nice to me. Yeah, we got 6 minutes until the London Open here. 6 minutes. Gold having a beautiful push there as well, guys. Good job to you guys to get the pre-London buys. That was a very, very, very nice trade. London Open on gold, you'll see how you react. Like I say, you're not going to be buying this high. You'd be buying back down here, or even back down here. But that's a very, very nice push up. Very, very nice push up. Did you grab any hourly lows for a while? No, not too much. Not much. You could get a little bit of a wick down here. Again, you're not gonna want to sell this though. Gold's already had a very, very nice push. Very, very nice push. If we test support many times, does it become weaker? It depends if it's liquidated lows or not. I mean, it can. That's typically what gold loves to do. The more gold bounce off the support, the more likely it is to break. However, you know, here on NQ, you also liquidate the lows and then held it. So I would say, to be honest, this is looking very strong to hold. Sometimes, you know, you can get the breakouts and the fake outs. You break below, you break straight back above. You can trade the fake outs. But this is a huge liquidity grab here. So this is very strong. This is being held very, very, very well. But yeah, with gold, you know, the more times you bounce off support, the more likely you are to have steep liquidity grabs. Thank you. Look at this. We're a push there, guys. Look at that. That's a nice, what's that as well? That's a nice hourly morning star there. Look at that. Rejected, liquidated the lows, held the support, continued to push. Yeah, I imagine ES is probably very similar to NQ. Yeah, pretty much the exact same. Very strong closure last week. If this weekly start to flip bullish, you're going to have a really nice drive high here. Again, hourly. It looks like 7 AM is the candle to play on NQ and ES. Having a really, really, really nice bounce here. You kind of see, you do have a little inverse head and shoulders play there as well, which is also kind of that morning star play. Lovely, lovely squeeze here already. I bet some of you guys are already in these buys. You guys love the early plays. There's a very, very nice push. On ES, you also have a trend line coming down as well. So lots of people trying to short that, more likely to continue squeezing. SodaStream bottle, yeah, SodaStream bottle makes it to the office every day. Can't come to the office without the SodaStream bottle. You got to get the sparkling water. You got to get the sparkling water to start London right. Absolutely. But yeah, ES is looking very strong. NQ, I would say it looks nicer because it has more room to squeeze these highs. If NQ in the next hour can come down and create a nice bottom wick, then continue pushing up into these highs, that'd be a pretty decent trade for you guys who do trade it. I personally don't trade NQ, but that looks to be a nice trade. We've got 4 minutes till London Open here, guys. 4 minutes until London Open. Look what it goes below, round numbers. Yeah, 750, yep. And then rebounds, goes back up. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same as like gold. Gold loves the hundreds and the hundreds and 50 levels. Yeah, that was right at what basically, what is that, 750? Where is that, 750? Yeah, right there. Yep. Yeah, gold as well. Gold loves them psychological numbers. You know, the hundreds and the 50s, hundreds down here. Sometimes you can watch the 75 levels as well. I personally just like the 50s and hundreds. But yeah, it's a very, very nice push. Yeah, I sent him an invite, mate, but it won't, he's not joining. Oh, he's not joining. I'd love to, man. That'd be a dream collaboration. Absolutely. Let's have a look at copper. I know last week on copper we had that beautiful bounce from that $5 region that we spoke about. Broke back above 75, tapped right into $5. Yeah, 25s, yeah, you can. Yeah, I don't watch them as much. I think the 50s and the 100s react a lot better. But yeah, you can watch the 25s and the 75s as well. I find the 50s and 100 levels to be to have better bounces. Yeah, copper, you know, copper's a weird one. You know, you did still kind of close bullish on the weekly. You closed back above 475. Let me just have a quick look at that monthly. Yeah, huge. Look at that, all-time high. Is that all-time high resistance? Yeah, pretty much. Massive resistance. Daily here on copper. What do we do? Kind of closed creating like a nice evening star here on copper. You know, we called the nice buys up into this liquidity region, $5. Held it. So could you be looking for copper to have a bit of a rollover? Let's have a look. There we go, sorry. Maybe, let's see. 30-minute. I mean, I wouldn't be shorting this just yet. This is looking very strong. Could you see copper push up into these areas first before having a rollover? Maybe. Gold's already had the push here, guys. Unless gold does something crazy in the next hour, that's going to be gold's London push, unfortunately. So that's the reason we're looking at other markets. You guys who traded gold pre-London, well done. That's your London trade. Gold is having a phenomenal push from what, these lows, like 150 ticks, huge. So trading gold at the open is going to be difficult. And by difficult, I don't think you're going to see much on gold today. So I'm going to look at some other markets. So yeah, copper, you could continue squeezing up into these highs here. If you start rejecting, maybe trap in some early sellers, set some stops just above. We got 1 minute to London open here, guys. Goldie is absolutely booming here. Huge, huge, huge push here on gold. Massive, strong push to start the week. This is the push that I was looking for here in Asia to retrace some of that NFP move. Maybe we were a little bit too early to it to start the day. But that was my long there from Asia. Here, look at this pullback into 33.50. Ended up having a big dip down in Asia. Finally broke out pre-London. Really, really, really nice push here. So we've got London open here, guys. Gold's about to close. Very, very, very strong. Look at that massive closure. Huge closure there on gold, guys. Been what, bullish since 3 a.m. London time. Massive fake out. Strong, strong. Look at this. Look at this doji candle here. Bringing in some sellers where they set their stops right above these highs. Yeah, Audi fake out was textbook. Yeah, Audi fake out was beautiful. So nice. That's a great trade, man. 140 ticks. That's a beautiful trade. Great hold as well. Great, great, great hold. So yeah, you know, gold could continue pushing up into 33.50. Like I say, it's going to be difficult to trade here at the London Open because it's already had the great push. Yeah, the Owly fake out was absolutely the play. That was a beautiful, beautiful play there as well. We got targets right up into there. You probably even where you are right now. You know, it's again, that's a 200 tick move pre-London. Very, very, very big. So yeah, you could fill this range, tap into 33.50. Like I say, if I buy from here, where am I going to manage risk? Nowhere. There's nowhere to manage risk here. So unfortunately, you're going to probably have to leave Goldie here for the London session. Platinum's going nuts. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. How nuts are we talking? Wow, that is nuts. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, Platinum's been on an insane run. Again here, same pre-London, 5 a.m. London time. You broke this resistance and you just absolutely booming. Let's just have a quick look at the news quickly. Let's have a look. New Boeing plane landed in China for the first time since tariff war started. Trade war. Yeah, I mean, there's news about the US and China trade war continuing to ease, which would be bearish for gold. So I don't really think it's that. I don't really think it's that. That would be that'd be more so bearish for gold. Maybe that could be why. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. How's that Audi closure here on NQ? Where are we? Yeah, NQ. If you break some highs, yeah, you could see NQ playing the range. 347. Let's have a look. 347. Yeah. Yep. I like these highs here. These highs here make the most sense. Also lines up with that 33.50 level. The only way I'm going to get long here on gold, in terms of a new buy position, is going to be if you come back down and hold some of these areas. Then I can continue buying. It honestly wouldn't be too surprising, you know, if we look at gold on, let's say, a 4-hour. So you had that massive 4-hour fake out as well, which is huge. You know, even taking this 4-hour flip, you're hitting highs of 100 ticks, absolutely massive. But yeah, we could be coming all the way back up into these areas. You know, maybe even to the lows of this breakout from Friday, which was the NFP breakout, which is around, what, 33.55-ish? But a retracement like that, you probably won't see until New York, because pre-London's already had a big move. So maybe London open, you pull back, you start to range a little bit, you come down, you grab some lows, and then, you know, you may continue squeezing up into 33.50 and then back down into into some of these areas as well. But yeah, platinum is platinum's having an insane push, absolutely insane. More crazier push than gold. Look at that. That's huge. I've never traded platinum, but that is a phenomenal run. Since you broke out here, just been huge, absolutely huge. That is massive. So yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. Copper coming to squeeze these highs as well. That's pretty much all markets having a massive move here, guys. Before London Open, NQ starting to flip bullish. You'll probably see NQ come and fill up into these range, up into these highs here. You have that weekly flip there as well. Very, very, very big push. Easy win, Quinn. Easy money. Yes, coming for the highs as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. So NQ hasn't quite squeezed the highs. However, ES has just tapped into them highs. Has NQ squeezed them yet? Not quite. So NQ is not quite there. ES has just grabbed them. So if you're buying NQ, you would be looking to manage. Very, very nice buy there on ES. That's a huge buy. So if this is a big push up before the London Open, could you be seeing these markets come down for a much deeper correction into the New York session? Maybe. That's a very, very nice run up there. What time did that start? Again, around like 6 AM London time. We need to start getting on the charts earlier. Start getting on the charts earlier on all of these markets, especially gold. Especially gold. Let's have a look. Well, it's pretty tough because gold's already had the trade. Gold had the buys at 6 AM. The buys on gold were down here at 6 AM, not here. So if you're going to get more buys on gold, it's going to be if you could have a pullback, you know, come down and grab some lows before potentially pushing higher. So it's going to take at least like the next like 30-minute closure, maybe even into like, don't know, 9 to 10 AM London time. It depends. So, you know, this is already pre-London a 200 tick move up. You know, we're not just going to keep ripping another 200 plus ticks. It's not how the markets move. So I would say, in terms of a trade on gold specifically, 9 to 10 AM, maybe even to 11, maybe. You know, it's already had this very, very, very nice push up. It's not just going to keep ripping. It's also not just going to drop out of nowhere as well. So you're going to need to see some pretty decent price action form, which, you know, maybe in 30 minutes we'll get the next two 15-minute candle closures. And then it might give us something. But yeah, this is, you know, the buys were down here at 6 AM, not up here. But yeah, we can have a look at the euro, absolutely. We can have a look at the euro. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the euro. Do a bit of top down here on the euro. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So, where are we at? Massive, big resistance up here at 168. What did we do last week? So last week we came up, we have huge resistance being formed here at that kind of, I guess you could say, let's get this. Let's take this. And let's go, sorry, here, where are we? 1.15. Big psychological resistance level being held there. Massive rejection last week. Daily time frame. Again, closed bearish off the back of NFP, and you're already coming up right back higher here. So the daily, I guess you kind of say it's similar to gold. Like a daily's pretty choppy here. Like I guess you could say you're in a bit of a range. So you came up, you grabbed the highs of the range. So could you be looking for the lows of the range? Well, let's drop down and see if that can tell us anything. Yeah, you do have some, you got some nice liquidity being left down here on the euro. Back down at 375. I guess you could say you're trying to form a potential... Again, this kind of looks nicer than gold, actually, because you have actually room to play a trade. Kind of got head and shoulders being formed down here, so could you be looking to short the euro? Remember, it is a European bank holiday in some parts of Europe. So you got these lows down here. What are we kind of seeing? So if you would like to, you do have some, let's see, it's not the cleanest. You got some nice resistance being formed here. Pre-London, similar to gold, you came down, you liquidated some lows, you closed bullish, you've continued squeezing higher. So I would say on the euro, if you want to get short, I would say wait for a 30-minute closure back below 425, and then you could play a fake out sell to come back down for, you know, a deeper retracement to some of these levels, but even back down to 1.4 down there as well. But I'd say first 30 minutes of the London Open, you'd probably have to see, because that previous hourly did still just close bullish. So intraday, you're breaking out. So if you want to look to short the euro for a bit of a pullback, look at that huge hourly fake out there in the Asian session. I would say, yeah, decent closure below, and then you could be looking for a potential short on the euro. What we got here in NQ. Remember, NQ hasn't quite grabbed these highs, but if you go have a look at the ES has grabbed the highs. So if ES has grabbed the highs, NQ doesn't necessarily need to. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Platinum has been on a crazy run. Do I copy trade? No, I don't copy trade. These accounts are different sizes, different balances, different payouts. I prefer to keep them separate. The main one I'm focusing here on the London session is this 150k. I was copy trading them. I copy trade some combines, which, you know, traded on NFP and stuff, but the funded accounts, I prefer to keep them separate. Like I say, if they were all on the exact same balance, maybe I'd copy trade like 2 or 3 and then keep 2 spare, but I personally prefer to keep them separate now. Gold's still trying to squeeze higher here. I saw it. I haven't checked it out though. Not yet. I'd be interested to have a look. Nah, gold. I mean, this is a big move for gold in London, but for New York, no, you can still see New York have a really good move on gold. You can still see New York have like another 200 plus tick move, which sounds pretty crazy, but you know, considering how much gold's already moved. But no, yeah, you can still get a great move in New York. Like even last Friday, which is also NFP, Asia, you know, you had a 200 tick move down. Where was London? London, 150 tick move down, and then New York on the back of NFP still had a 300 tick move. So no, you can absolutely still get some great trades in New York, which I still think you'll get some, you know, big 100 plus tick moves. It was more so if you want to see that, you'd more so want to see, you know, actually London Open create a bit of a range, you know, maybe come down, range in here for a while, come down, grab some lows, and then see New York have a bit of a pullback, you know, back up into some of these highs here as well. I think that's the way you'd get a nice New York move. But now, typically, even in London, you know, this was London on Thursday. London had a really nice strong push up, and then New York still had a massive sell off. So you can still get very big pushes in both sessions. There's no real news today though, so let me just see. Even though there's been no real news today, even in Asia and London, you still had, you know, what was the sell off today in Asia? I didn't short the sell off. You had this is so much volume here. Yeah, so what, 200 tick sell off in Asia, and then another 230 tick push higher. Huge. And gold is still continuing to break higher. Hi, Aaron. Hey, man. Curious why you haven't moved over to live. Is it preference you have arranged with Topstep to maintain multiple exposure accounts instead? No, definitely not. There's no. I don't get any special arrangements, unfortunately. If I continued to trade my London account here, which is this one, I would. But because this one's like, one payout away from getting moved to live, I want to build up some of these other ones instead. But if I was to take another payout on my London one, then yeah, I could. So in the meantime, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me build up some of these first, maybe switch some of these for 50s, build up a bigger buffer so when, I do go to live, it makes it worthwhile. Because on my London account, I think there's like maybe 2,000 in there or something, so there's no point trying to take over 2,000. So I'd rather build up some of these other ones, and then when you move it across, combine all of them. But no, unfortunately, no secret arrangements. Although that'd be very nice. Topstep could give me some special arrangements. But no, unfortunately not. But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, if I'm gonna transfer it to live, I want to do it with a good enough buffer. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me, even here, I've got my Asia account here. It's my London. I want to switch out, this 50 and this 50 for these 200 soon. So then, when we do move over, we can take over like, 15, 20, 30. So yeah, that's why I've been focusing on these ones more. Gold trying to have a bit of pullback. NQ having a bit of a squeeze lower. Remember guys, if NQ breaks back below here, you actually could have a decent pullback range back down into here. But it'd be only if it would be closing back below there. It's already a very nice squeeze here, pre-London. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is either, man. I'm not sure. I did see the notification, but I don't know what the difference is. I'm not sure. Yeah, nice. A little bit of resistance being formed. No, you can. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, sorry, not unfortunately. You can actually have. So you can have 5 express funded accounts, and then if these ones are passed, so you could have. I think you can have still like 5 combines running in the background. So then I can have these passed. Like if I pass these, and let's say if I then lose my 50, for example, then I can just go activate this one and have 100k ready to go. So you can only have 5 funded accounts at a time, but you could still be running combines in the background, which is kind of what I was doing on Friday. I was like, well, I don't want to trade NFP on my express fund accounts. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me trade it on a combine instead. So if I pass the combines, they'll be there in the background, ready for me to activate at any point. So it's kind of like a nice little, nice little buffer in the background. If anything goes wrong, at least I know, if I lose a 50, for example, I take a risky trade and lose a 50, then I'm like, okay, cool, I've got 100k to activate whenever I want. But in terms of, actual fund accounts at one time, it is 5, yeah. But yeah, sometimes it takes off pressure, knowing you've got some in the background just in case anything crazy does happen. Say you have a bad day and you lose an account for whatever reason, which it happens. And it's nice to know that, oh god, I don't have to start from scratch again. I've got other funded accounts I can trade, or I've got, let's say 200k passed in the background to activate. I find it, it just takes off pressure. Helps you mentally. Not that you guys have to focus on, having 5 express fund accounts and, running combines, but just get consistent trading on one. But later down the line, pressure creates diamonds. Yeah, wish and trading. But yeah, later down the line, it's nice to have them there. Yep. Yeah, that's satisfying my gambling urge during NFP. That's very true. And I very rarely gamble, but I did go to the casino on Friday. I was in Melbourne, so I think Melbourne has, I don't know if it's the biggest casino in Australia, but it was very big, so you couldn't go there and just have a little look. You know, you had to have a dabble. So I lost money playing blackjack, which I think was like 10 o'clock. NFP's at like 10:30 my time, so I left the casino and I had to get my fix again, and I went to go trade a little bit NFP and got some nice sales on NFP. So yeah, I did 2 lots of gambling on Friday, I guess you could say. I had to fight that urge. Well, let's see if gold gives us something right now. Gold's already had the push. If NQ breaks below, you know, maybe you could look for a sell on a combine, for example. I only trade gold to get all of these accounts. I've only traded gold to get all of them and to get all the payouts. So I'm not going to start trading something else just for the sake of it. But if I'm going to get a trade here on gold, I'm going to have to see a pullback because the buys have already happened on gold. You know, it's not ideal that happens pre-London when I wasn't able to trade pre-London today, but, you know, it is what it is. But the buys were here today on Goldie. Here, very, very nice buys. In terms of, is there any new trades to take up here? Not yet. The only way I can take a new trade up here is if we get like a 15-minute liquidity grab, for example. You know, for instance, here, if we come down, liquidate some 15-minute lows and then re-break out, great, I'll have some nice buys up into 33.50. So that's all I'm really looking for here. Seeing if we can come down, grab some 15-minute lows before we can continue buying. Because, you know, gold's just not going to keep ripping up or ripping down out of nowhere. Gold's probably going to create a little bit of a range after having such a big push. You know, like here, you have a really nice push. You create a range for, what, 15, 30, 45 an hour, and then you have the next push. That's one thing that gold loves to do. Yeah, it's where the mic, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, working out too much in Jiu-jitsu today gave me a massive migraine, so I couldn't trade pre-London. I had to close my eyes for half an hour. But yeah, you know, in terms of activating a new trade, you're going to need to see gold give a little bit of a pullback before continuing to push. Even if it does push from here, you know, if I start buying from here, well, where's my stop loss? Well, the last liquidity grab was all the way down here. Well, that doesn't make any sense, right? So if I'm going to get a new trade here on gold, then I need to see us have a little bit of a pullback. Unfortunately, I don't control the markets. We just trade them. And you've got to always see them from that neutral perspective. And it's quite easy to see, you know, pre-London, we've had a 200 tick move. What's the likelihood that we're going to now push another 50 to 100 plus ticks as opposed to just creating a little bit of space before then having the move later on? Well, the probability is you're probably going to create a bit of space first. Do you use the tick charts on trading? I don't, personally, man. I don't. I've never used the tick charts. No. I do get a bit interested to see how they do move. I believe Dakota uses tick charts. I believe it's not something I've ever used. Not something I've ever used. I would be interested to look at it a little bit more. But no, I've never used it personally. Do you believe in correlation, or it doesn't matter to you? Yeah, you definitely get some correlation in some assets. For day trading gold, I don't really correlate it with anything. For swing trading, different story, but for day trading, I've never really found anything that correlates well with gold. You know, sometimes you get, you know, the odd time where NQ will push up and gold will push down. Not always the case, like you've seen here pre-London, NQ's pushed up, gold's pushed up, so I don't really correlate gold with anything personally. There's a much bigger correlation between ES and NQ, same as these highs right now. You know, if you're trying to buy up into these highs here on NQ, but you didn't realize they've already been tapped on ES, you know, you'll miss the exit. See? There's a very key correlation there. But for gold, I've never really found anything that correlates very well to tell me something that doesn't already tell me just by looking at the gold chart. Nah, pivot points, nah, I used to use it, man, but nah, not really. It doesn't really help too much, to be honest. I kind of just prefer looking at just overall support and resistance levels. Yeah, gold having a great push here, guys. Well done to you guys who got this pre-long. This is a fantastic, fantastic push. And you guys still holding this push? This is huge. This all came pre-London here as well, guys. You know, if you didn't trade pre-London, it just is what it is. Don't start shorting it. Don't start buying it from here. You know, where's London? Here. Still holding 150 ticks, one contract. Huge, 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 huge. 150 ticks is huge. Coming right for these highs here now. Anyone selling here getting squeezed out. It's just too high for me to enter a new position here. It was a lovely, lovely, lovely push. Yeah, beautiful trade, man. What a hold. 171 ticks. Wow. What a trade. From 3-1.1. There's your trade for the week, man. Great, great, great trade. Eventually, man, one contract, two contracts. It's a $1,700 trade right there. There's your trade for the week. That's a beautiful, beautiful push. Yeah, 3-bar reversal and Q. Yep, I'm seeing that's the highs as well. Oh, can I do it to highs and lows? Here, grabbing highs, holding resistance, grabbing the lows, holding support. Interesting, 15 coming up here. Yeah, beautiful push. Yeah, gold's having a great, great, great push. Just lost $5 from a 14 USD account. You risked 50% or 40%. Well, firstly, man, you have to ask yourself why you're trading a $14 account. You know, if you're trying to get the skill down in trading, just paper trade. If you trade this is the thing when I first started. When I first started trading, I tried to trade small accounts. You're always just so fixated on trying to flip the account. You're always trading the P&L. You're not actually taking good trades. Never trade something that, you know, doesn't really make it worthwhile. 114 ticks done, great trade. And that was a lot. Like, that technicals is absolutely beautiful there, man. Was that the 15? That is a great, great, great trade. Absolutely beautiful trade. And a great hold as well. Great, great, great hold. What time is that? 7 AM? Yeah, that's a beautiful trade, man. Very, very nice trade. That's gold. That's gold hitting our TP areas as well. So if you guys are in this gold trade, that to me would be a very good exit. You come right up into that liquidity level and that 33.50 area. And you guys trading pre-London very, very well on that. That's a beautiful, beautiful push. A very, very nice push. Look at this for a Monday morning London move. This is huge. It's a shame it came so early, but this is a fantastic push, guys. Doesn't matter what time it came in. The technicals were there. The technicals were here to buy from here, here, and here. You had like 3 opportunities here pre-London today, which is not what we see very often. That's a huge push. The best stats are from Mondays. Really? That's interesting, man. Best stats on Mondays. Start trading Mondays from now. Done for the week. That's a great, great, great push. Yeah, well done, guys. Great, great trade. Oh, unfortunately, not in this, but you know, yeah, fresh mind, man. Yeah, fresh mind. I think some people have the opposite on Mondays. They're raring to go and start, you know, trying to jump in every single market move. They don't even give the markets time to even open and breathe. Most people try to go all in on Mondays because they're, you know, trying to get their fix from the weekend. Worst days are consistently Fridays, so I'm no longer trading. Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, long weekend, great. That's awesome, man. And I have a 5k funding account. How many lots should I trade? Do you mean 50? You mean 50k on Topstep, I assume? Yeah, long weekend. There you go. Do you mean 50? I assume you mean 50. If you mean 50, I mean, I trade, you know, 5 micros to 1 midi is more than enough. Sometimes you can even trade, you know, you can just trade 5 micros if you really wanted to. You know, if you were able to catch this push on gold at 5 micros, It's a 180 tick trade. That's a what, $660 trade at 5 micros? That's huge, absolutely huge. A very, very big push. Let's see here. Trading NQ based on the 50-minute chart. All time frames used. I don't use one time frame on any markets. I use all time frames. NQ looking like you could have a bit of a pullback though, to be honest. No, not micros. Yeah, 5 minis. Sorry, no, micros. But no, 5 micros on gold, 5 micros on NQ are completely different. It depends what you're trading. If you're trading gold, I assume you're trading gold, 5 micros is more than enough. 5 micros on NQ, 5 micros on gold is going to be completely different though. Look at that. Came up, tagged these highs, and instantly having a little bit of a squeeze here. Not that I'm going to start selling it by any means. Didn't you already ask me a question? Why don't you copy trade? I'm pretty sure you already asked me a question. Was that the same person? I already explained why I don't copy trade. Copy trade the combines. I won't copy trade the XFAs. Decent rejection there on gold, guys. Anyone who was selling here, stop sitting just above that high, sitting there, stops right at 33.50. That's a lovely, lovely take profit area. Good job to you guys who got out of that trade. Very, very, very nice push. Really, really, really nice push. Scalp will have a nice squeeze into the highs as well. Oh, not quite. Yeah, same as, yeah, I thought so. Oh yeah, that's true. You can do it on Trading View? Oh yeah, that's weird. I didn't know that. And what's your checklist to enter a trade? I posted a video on this yesterday. But my checklist to enter a trade, for the example of the trade that we took last week, is just having very clear targets. Where was our liquidity levels from last week? Where are we? I think we have, where's our levels from last week, guys? Here. So my checklist is having very clear targets. I need to know where I'm trading into, which to me, close for 160 ticks. That's incredible, man. That's your week done. Absolutely beautiful work. Great, great, great hold, man. Beautiful hold. That's discipline right there. It's not even about, the money. Holding a 106 trade here. 160 tick trade pre-London on a Monday is incredible work, man. Well done. Yeah, my main checklist is, having a clear target, having a liquidity grab for entry, and then just a simple breakout with volume. So trying to understand, where are most people trying to buy or sell? Where are they setting their stops and how to take advantage of it? So the great buys last week was buying up into these areas because I was anticipating a lot of people would be selling here, sitting their stops just above these highs. Oh, sorry. No wonder this looks different. I'm like, what? This doesn't look like gold. Here it is. So here's my trade from last week. This was on Thursday. So I was trying to understand, most people trying to short here, sitting their stops just above this double top here and these highs here. So take a breakout with good volume and trading up into these levels. So a nice liquidity grab for entry, here, and then buy up into where most people are trying to sell. But the biggest thing with gold is having volume. Having volume and clear targets is pretty much all you need with gold. So here, great volume and great targets here today, here and here. That's why the buys were. That's why the buys so nice here pre-London. You had great volume. You also had a 4-hour fake out, massive daily support, and then Beautiful push. Really, really nice push. Depends where your entry's from. It depends if you're long from down here or you're long from here. If you're long from here, you know, or here, you might not be able to hold around it, but it depends on where your entry's from. Because if you know, you have to look at it now from the perspective of, you know, could gold start to have a pullback? To me, this is a very overextended move, and at any point this could have a steep pullback. So if your entry is around, you know, anywhere where, like, let's say if you have an entry from here, I would say the price could easily pull back to here, maybe even lower before going higher. So it could easily just stop you out before pushing. If you got an entry from, you know, down here, you're more than covered. But for me, if I was long from around here, these highs I'd be exiting full, because my price could easily come back down, retest where my entry is, stop me out before then pushing higher. You know, if you have a much lower entry, you know, these highs wouldn't be too surprising, around 33.60. But again, like I say, it depends on where your entry is from. But these highs here look nice. And that's kind of, you know, that's kind of the next overall target. But I think something like that would probably come closer to New York, because this is, like I say, this is a really big push up here pre-London. But next area, I would say, come up and retest these levels, which I believe is somewhere around 50% of this whole entire move down. Back up into these areas. But to me, I look at this and I go, yeah, this could easily now have a pullback all the way back down to here before seeing something like that. So you could easily come down to here before pushing. So if I was long, I'd be long from around here, and for that reason, that's why I personally would just close full. Yeah, NQ trying to squeeze back higher. Let's have a look. 15-minute. How do we close? Came down, grabbed lows, held support. Also grabbed the highs, held resistance. Trying to have a little bit of a squeeze. Yeah, very nice squeeze. But yeah, that's going to be it for me this morning, guys. Right, I know it's going to be a quick one. I've been on for about an hour. It was going to be a short one for me here today. I've got some plans this evening, and also gold's already had a very, very decent push here, which is pretty unfortunate, but we'll be back to the pre-London streams tomorrow, guys. Like I say, you know, gold's already had a great push here. So in order for us to get any new trades, for me, it's going to be once gold has a decent retracement. So I'm going to be waiting for price to pull back down to these levels, and then I'm going to look for some overall long. So I won't keep you guys any longer today. Remember, it is Monday morning. We have plenty of time coming this week. Great pre-London buys today. Good job to you guys who did take that. For me personally, I'm going to wait to see price have a bit of a pullback. Then I'll look to continue buying later on. So we'll be live here all week as well, guys. We're going to have plenty of trades. Gold just had the pre-London push day, which you don't see very often, but it is a very, very nice push, and we have all week to take plenty of trades. So I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. We'll go live at around 7:30 London time, and we'll continue to trade the London Open together. So trade safe for the rest of the day, guys. Gold's had a great move, and I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. Trade safe, everyone. See you tomorrow. Peace.